Hello, my fellow animal lovers. How are you today? Before I ferry you to dreamland, if you love the content and you love animals, I encourage you to show your support by subscribing. By the way, tell us where you are in the world in the comment section. What time do you like watching our channel? I look forward to reading all your comments. Enjoy. Chapter 1: The Stillness and the Architect. The world is still. The sun has set, painting the western horizon with the last lingering blush of day before surrendering to the inevitable tide of night. A profound quiet descends, deep and pervasive, as if the very air holds its breath. The deep hushed velvet of the evening settles over everything, muffling the distant sounds of the day's retreat, replacing them with a gentle, growing silence. The air is cool now, carrying with it the faint, earthy scent of dry grass, brittle from the sun's long caress, and the undeniable, refreshing promise of night. Below the vast expanse of the deepening sky, a soft, steady rhythm pulses, a breath of the world turning slowly, imperceptibly, on its axis. And in this profound stillness, amidst the fading light and the rising cool, something else is at work, something tiny yet monumental. A delicate architect. She is a paper wasp, a marvel of instinct and precision, and in her own way, she is an artist. Not an artist in the human sense, with oils and canvas or chisel and stone. Her art is one of pure, unadulterated instinct, of an unwavering purpose, driven by a deep and ancient knowing that transcends conscious thought. It is a primal urge, etched into her very being, guiding her every meticulous movement. She works in the quiet hours, when the world prepares for slumber. Though she is undeniably a creature of the sun, drawing her energy and warmth from its golden rays, her most critical work continues, even as the world around her prepares for sleep. She is building, tirelessly, a nursery. More than just a simple structure, it is a crucible of life, a home for the future generations that will ensure the continuation of her kind. And she builds it with paper, but this is not the paper we know, spun from machines and bleached by human hands. Her paper is made by hand, with an extraordinary innate precision and boundless patience. It is a testament to natural engineering, a masterpiece of biological ingenuity. Her first task in this silent creation is to find her raw material, wood, dry, aged wood. She seeks out the perfectly seasoned fibers, recognizing by touch and scent the ideal consistency. Perhaps it is the splintered, weathered edge of an old fence post, its surface worn smooth by countless seasons of sun and rain, yet still retaining its inner strength. Or it could be the gnarled, forgotten branch of a dead tree, fallen long ago and left to desiccate under the sky. She circles, a small dark blur against the twilight, until her searching antennae alight upon just the right piece. With a soft, almost imperceptible landing, she settles. Her 6 slender legs grip the rough surface, tiny claws finding purchase. Her body, sleek and elongated, gleams faintly in the fading light, a dark and shining jewel of purpose. Her antennae wave constantly, a gentle searching motion, reading the subtle currents of the air, sensing the world around her with an almost preternatural awareness. Then, with a focused stillness that belies her diminutive size, she begins to chew. This chewing is not for sustenance, not to eat, but to harvest. Her mandibles, tiny yet perfectly formed tools, scrape and tear at the dry wood. It is a sound so soft, so subtle, that it would be lost to human ears unless one were to press an ear close to her work. A whisper of friction, a delicate rasping that is almost a secret shared with the evening air. She chews and chews and chews, a rhythmic, tireless motion. The dry wood, Its fibers hard and brittle, slowly, almost grudgingly, yields to her persistent work. It becomes a pulp, a paste, a soft, moist mash of wood fibers, transformed by her diligent effort. But this is not enough. She then mixes this fibrous pulp with her saliva, her own special mixture, a biological alchemy unique to her species. It is truly a kind of magic. The saliva acts as a powerful adhesive, a natural glue that transforms the dry, inert wood into something new, something pliable, workable, and ultimately astonishingly strong. As she works, with precise, deliberate movements, she gathers the softened fibers into a tiny ball, a small gray-brown orb, deceptively simple, yet brimming with the potential of a future home. Chapter 2: The Harvest of Wood. The night deepens around her, a vast, star-dusted canopy, yet the tiny architect remains oblivious to its grandeur, her focus entirely consumed by the intricate task at hand. The cool air, now carrying the heavier perfumes of damp earth and night-blooming flora, provides a crisp backdrop to her solitary labor. She is a creature driven by an ancient imperative, a silent command that guides her mandibles and legs with unwavering precision. Her 6 legs, incredibly agile and strong for their size, remain anchored to the chosen piece of wood, giving her the stable platform she needs for her meticulous work. Each scrape and tear of her mandibles is a testament to her determination, a miniature symphony of creation. If one could somehow amplify the delicate sound she makes, it would be a rhythmic, almost meditative rasping, a constant whisper against the grain of the wood. This sound, a tiny drumbeat of industry, is a private concert, audible only to the most attuned ears of the night, perhaps to the very molecules of the wood as they surrender to her will. She does not rush, nor does she falter. There is an unwavering steadiness in her movements, a profound efficiency born of eons of evolutionary refinement. Her mandibles, those tiny, perfect tools, are marvels of natural engineering, and they are sharp enough to abrade the toughest outer layers of the wood, yet delicate enough to process the fibers into the fine consistency she requires. It is a dual function, destructive yet constructive, transforming the rigid structure of the wood into the flexible building blocks of her future home. The process is slow, by human standards, but for the wasp, it is simply the rhythm of her existence. One tiny shred of fiber at a time, each pulled from the heart of the dry wood, becoming part of the growing ball of potential. As the wood yields to her patient assault, it loses its brittle hardness. The fibers, once stiff and unyielding, begin to soften, absorbing the moisture and enzymes from her saliva. This transformation is key. The wood pulp she creates is not merely chewed wood, it is a bioengineered material, specifically designed for its purpose. It is a testament to the sophisticated chemistry occurring within her tiny body, a biological factory churning out the perfect adhesive and binding agents. The saliva, her own unique concoction, is the secret ingredient. It is a glue, strong and pliable, that will bind the individual fibers together, not only within the ball she is forming, but also, crucially, when this pulp is applied to the nascent structure of the nest. It is this natural cement that allows her paper construction to dry into a surprisingly durable, water-resistant material, capable of withstanding the elements. With each mouthful of chewed and moistened wood, the small gray-brown orb beneath her mandibles grows incrementally. It becomes a miniature globe of potential, a condensed promise of the cells she will soon shape. This ball is her precious cargo, the very essence of her architectural endeavor. Once it reaches a satisfactory size, a size she intuitively knows is optimal for transport and application, she ceases her chewing. Her antennae momentarily still, her body tenses, and then, with a soft, almost imperceptible lift, she takes flight. Her wings, a blur of motion in the dim light, create a soft, hypnotic hum, a lullaby of industry. It is a slow and steady flight, for the cargo is indeed precious, each fiber representing tireless effort and the very foundation of her future. She is a tiny, determined messenger, carrying the building blocks of her future, heading towards the nascent structure that awaits her artistic touch. The cool night air whispers past her as she flies, a silent witness to her solitary, purposeful journey. Chapter 3: The Genesis of the Nest. The world breathes in and out, a slow, continuous exhalation and inhalation that defines the quiet passage of the night. The gentle rhythm of the cool air moves slowly, almost imperceptibly, caressing the leaves of the unseen trees and whispering through the dry blades of grass. And within this vast silent breathing, a small delicate architect continues her work, her own rhythm a counterpoint to the world's larger one. She flies back and forth, a tireless pendulum of purpose. It is a slow, steady commute, a journey repeated countless times throughout the dark hours, from the weathered fence post or the fallen branch where she patiently chews and harvests the raw material, back to the nascent nursery where she builds and shapes the very architecture of her future. The process is repetitive, undeniably so, and yet in that repetition there is a profound, almost hypnotic sense of peace. Each action, meticulously executed, contributes to a larger, singular goal. The faint rasping of her mandibles against the dry wood, a sound almost too small to register, is a constant rhythmic beat. The soft hum of her wings, a faint buzz in the night air as she flies, is a lullaby of industry. The gentle, almost caressing spreading of the wet pulp, adhering new fibers to old, is a delicate touch in the darkness. Again and again, the cycle repeats, a testament to her unyielding focus. She is a tiny machine of creation, efficient and precise, driven by a biological imperative, so strong it transcends any notion of fatigue. Her entire being, her very life, is dedicated to this single purposeful task: to build, to create a safe, secure place for her offspring, to prepare, with unwavering dedication, for what is to come. The hexagonal cells, perfect in their geometry, begin to take undeniable shape. One side, then another, meticulously constructed, each wall rising, a thin, paper-thin curtain of strength. They are all the same size, all the same perfect shape, an astonishing uniformity that speaks to the innate wisdom within her. It is a honeycomb, not of wax, but of delicate, gray-brown paper, each cell a miniature chamber, a promise of life. She is not consciously thinking of the shape, not contemplating blueprints or mathematical formulas. She does not have a blueprint in her mind, no preconceived notion of architectural design in the human sense. Instead, she is guided by something deeper, something far more ancient and profound, by a silent wisdom and inherited knowledge passed down through countless generations. It is an ancient instruction encoded within her very DNA. The knowledge of how to build a perfect home, how to achieve such structural efficiency, is simply within her. It is a part of her being, as fundamental and as natural as the beating of her tiny heart. She works alone, a solitary figure against the vast canvas of the night. She is the queen, yes, but for now she is also the sole mother, the dedicated builder, the tireless architect. These first cells she constructs are for her first children, those that will become the workers of her nascent colony. They are the future, the foundation upon which her entire lineage will flourish. They will, in time, help her build more cells, extending the paper city. They will help her forage for food and protect the nest from threats. But for now, the burden and the glory of creation rest solely on her minuscule shoulders, and she works in the dark, bathed only by the soft, ethereal glow of the moon. The moon rises, a pale, milky orb in the vast, inky sky, its light spilling over the world, painting the trees and the ground in shades of silver and muted gray. And in that soft, otherworldly light, she works, a dark jewel of purpose, moving with a dedication that is both fierce in its determination and gentle in its execution. She places each new piece of paper with meticulous care, smoothing the edges, strengthening the walls, ensuring every fiber is perfectly aligned. She is a potter shaping clay, a weaver spinning threads, a builder laying bricks, all in one, encapsulated within her tiny form. Her art is one of pure function, yes, but in its absolute efficiency and natural precision, it embodies a profound, inherent beauty. The nest hangs quietly, a small, intricate sculpture of paper and instinct, a testament to the quiet, ceaseless power of nature. The air is still, the world slumbering around her, and in that stillness, a small, perfect home is steadily, silently being born. Chapter 4. Dawn and Continued Construction. The sun is up now, a vibrant golden orb ascending steadily in the eastern sky. Its light floods the world with a soft, warm glow, painting everything in fresh hues of green and gold. The air, though still carrying the crisp coolness of the retreating night, holds the undeniable promise of heat to come, of a day that will unfold under a generous sun. And the tiny architect, having labored through the night, continues her work without pause. Her dedication is absolute, her focus singular. She has been chewing and building for hours, her energy seemingly boundless, her purpose unwavering. The nursery, once a mere stalk with a few nascent cells, is now a small cluster of tightly packed chambers. It hangs like a miniature, upside-down city, suspended with quiet dignity from its slender pedestal. Each cell is a perfect six-sided chamber, meticulously crafted, a testament to her innate geometric genius. The structure, though made of paper, feels solid, resilient, a fragile marvel hardened by instinct and saliva. Now, her raw material needs replenishing. The nearby fence post, her preferred quarry from the night, may have been depleted or simply less appealing under the bright morning light. She flies to a new spot, chosen with the same instinctual precision, perhaps a piece of weathered driftwood, abandoned by a long-ago flood, its surface a soft silvery gray, or a sun-bleached plank from an old shed, its grain raised and exposed. She lands gently, her 6 legs finding purchase on the fibrous surface, and then begins her familiar gentle rasping. The sound, still so quiet, so small, is almost a secret shared with the morning air, a tiny industrious whisper against the awakening world, unheard by all but the closest observer. She is harvesting a new batch of wood pulp, the vital raw material for her ongoing art, the sustenance for her growing home. She chews and chews, her mandibles working with a rhythmic, steady motion, pulverizing the dry wood, mixing it with her saliva. As she chews, the hard, brittle wood fibers are transformed, yielding to become a soft gray paste. The specific hue of this new pulp might differ from her previous batches, a subtle variation depending on the source wood, a darker brown from oak, a lighter gray from pine, perhaps even a faint reddish tint from weathered cedar. She gathers it, meticulously, into a new ball, a fresh orb of hope and potential, destined to become another perfect hexagon in her burgeoning paper city. With her precious cargo secured, she takes flight once more, her journey back to the nest, a slow and steady commute. The load is precious, each tiny fiber representing countless movements and the very building blocks of life. She lands on her half-finished creation and immediately begins to work, smearing the new pulp onto the edge of a new cell or perhaps extending the walls of an existing one. Her actions are precise, efficient, a dance of instinct. She shapes it, molds it, her front legs assisting her mandibles in the delicate plastering. The wet paper adheres seamlessly to the dry, a perfect bond, becoming one continuous, strengthened structure. The colors of the nest now tell a subtle story, a living chronicle of her foraging. It is a soft mosaic of grays and browns, hints of silver and ochre, reflecting the different types of wood she has harvested from her diverse environment. Each shade, each subtle texture, is a tiny narrative woven into the intricate fabric of the home. A piece of an old fence post, strong and sturdy, a piece of a fallen branch, returned to the cycle of life, a piece of driftwood from a long ago storm, carried far from its origins. She is, in her own way, a collector of memories, not consciously, but by the very nature of her work, and she weaves them all together, these disparate pieces of the world, into a single, beautiful, functional structure. The light of the morning sun falls upon the nest, illuminating its delicate paper walls, revealing their astonishing thinness, yet simultaneously highlighting their inherent strength. The intricate patterns of the hexagonal cells are now clearly visible, a tessellation of nature's genius. The light glints off her dark jewel-like body as she moves, a tiny beacon of relentless industry. And she works on tirelessly with the new day, bathed in its golden light. Her work is a gentle, continuous hum, a quiet song for the waking world, the profound sound of creation, the undeniable sound of a home being built, one fiber at a time. The world awakens around her. Birds chirp their morning greetings, leaves rustle with the strengthening breeze, but her focus remains undiverted, absorbed entirely in the meticulous construction of her paper fortress. Chapter 5. The First Laying. The day deepens. The sun climbs higher in the azure expanse of the sky, its rays growing more intense and golden. The air, now thoroughly warmed by its relentless ascent, becomes still and heavy, carrying the shimmering promise of full summer heat. A faint, earthy aroma rises from the heated ground, mingling with the subtle sweetness of unseen blossoms, and the tiny architect, her work never truly ceasing, works on. Her focus has subtly shifted. She is no longer just building new cells. She is meticulously preparing the completed ones, ensuring their absolute readiness for the precious cargo they are about to receive, getting them ready for her first children. She is a mother, a powerful instinct now guiding her every movement, and a mother's work, driven by a deep biological imperative, is never done. With tireless precision, she checks each cell. Her delicate antennae, sensitive to the slightest imperfection, the faintest irregularity, run over the smooth, paper-thin walls. Each stroke is a verification, a confirmation of structural integrity. She explores every curve and angle of the hexagon, ensuring that each chamber is perfect in its construction, strong enough to contain the developing life, secure enough to protect it from the outside world, and precisely shaped for the life it will soon hold. She inspects the adhesion points, the smoothness of the interior, the strength of the rim, only when she is entirely satisfied, when her ancient instincts confirm the absolute readiness of each individual cradle, is she ready for the next crucial defining step in her life cycle. She lays her first eggs, one egg deposited with utmost care into each meticulously prepared cell. They are tiny, almost translucent specks, pearly white and fragile, yet brimming with the potential of future life. They appear almost luminous against the muted gray-brown and silver mosaic of the paper walls. Each egg is not simply dropped, it is attached to the wall of its cell by a thin, almost invisible silken thread. This delicate thread, spun with an innate artistry, is a vital safety measure, a tiny anchor, intuitively engineered to keep the precious egg from falling out of its vertically oriented chamber. It is a subtle yet profound act of maternal care, a testament to the foresight embedded within her genetic code, ensuring the initial security of her offspring. She works with absolute precision, an unwavering focus on the monumental task of perpetuation. One egg carefully placed, one cell, now a sealed chamber of nascent potential. Her legacy, the very foundation of her future colony, has begun its silent, miraculous unfolding. With the egg successfully laid, her work subtly shifts once more, transitioning from creation to unwavering defense. The emphasis moves from pure construction to vigilant protection. Now she must guard the nest, her precious cargo of unhatched life, with an unwavering, fierce commitment. Her very being becomes one of constant vigilance. She positions herself strategically on the nest, her slender body held in a state of alert stillness. Her antennae, usually in constant motion for building, are now held in a heightened state of awareness, perpetually scanning the surrounding air, sensing the slightest tremor, the faintest shadow of a potential threat, a passing bird, a lurking spider, an inquisitive insect. She is the steadfast guardian of the nursery, the silent, unyielding protector of the future lives, nestled within the delicate paper cells. The sun beats down relentlessly, its heat intensifying. The air is still and heavy, vibrating with the silent energy of the summer day, a quiet witness to her tireless vigil. And the nursery hangs quietly, suspended in the warm, still air, a tiny, perfect world, a miniature universe teeming with the promise of life, and permeated by the deep, quiet peace of a mother's watchful, unwavering love. Every rustle of leaves, every distant chirp is filtered through her heightened senses, ensuring the safety of her precious, fragile future. Chapter 6: The Larvae and the Hunt. The days pass with a steady, unhurried rhythm, marked by the inexorable turning of the earth. Each sunrise paints the sky with the vibrant hues of dawn, a daily renewal of the world's energy, only to surrender its fiery reign to the cool, enveloping embrace of night. This cycle, ancient and relentless, continues its silent march, marking the precise progression of life within the paper nursery, a microcosm of the larger world. And inside the hexagonal cells, within the pearly white specks that gleamed so faintly just days ago, the tiny eggs begin their miraculous hidden change. The process is silent, profound, and entirely hidden from the outside world by the delicate yet strong paper walls. Yet it is a slow and steady unfolding of life, an internal miniature miracle occurring within each paper chamber, driven by an unseen, inherent biological clock that dictates every stage of development. Eventually, inevitably, with a soft internal break, the eggs hatch. The thin, fragile shells crack open, and from them emerge tiny larvae. They are small, soft, and remarkably vulnerable, utterly unlike their winged mother. These white, plump, grub-like creatures are utterly dependent on their mother for their very survival, devoid of the ability to forage for themselves. Like the eggs before them, they hang securely within their cells, suspended by the silken thread that now appears to be an extension of their own tiny bodies, a natural tether anchored to the paper wall. Their emergence marks a new, demanding, and constant phase of the queen's tireless work, for with this new life comes an insatiable hunger, and the larvae are voraciously, continuously hungry, requiring constant provision. Their needs are immediate and unending, a relentless demand for sustenance. Their mother, the queen, having anticipated this new imperative, is entirely ready. Her role adapts seamlessly to meet their escalating demands. Her primary work now shifts from architectural construction and vigilant guardianship to direct provisioning and relentless hunting. She leaves the nest now, her purpose clear, her flight swift and direct, a focused streak through the sunlit air. Her mission is no longer to gather wood pulp for building, but to hunt for protein-rich food that will fuel the rapid growth of her brood. She is a gentle predator, her focus honed with unerring instinct on a specific vital prey that will sustain her growing brood, caterpillars. These soft, plump green creatures, often overlooked by larger predators, are rich in protein and easily digestible, abundant in the surrounding foliage. Her keen eyesight and exquisitely sensitive antennae guide her unerringly through the maze of leaves and branches, relentlessly locating her target. With a swift, precise movement, a blur of motion too fast for the human eye to track, she finds one, a plump, unsuspecting larva munching placidly on a leaf. With astonishing speed and accuracy, she paralyzes it with her sting. This is not intended to kill it outright, but to render it immobile, to preserve its freshness and nutritional value, and to keep it still and docile, preventing its escape during the perilous transport back to the nest. This method ensures a living, uncontaminated, and perfectly fresh food source for her delicate young. Once the caterpillar is subdued and rendered motionless, she begins the meticulous process of preparation. Using her powerful mandibles, she chews the caterpillar, breaking down its form, transforming its soft body into a manageable, digestible paste. It is a kind of specialized baby food, perfectly prepared, pre-digested, and easily consumed by her delicate growing offspring. She then gathers this vital, nutritious food into a small pellet and brings it back to the nest, a precious, life-sustaining delivery. And then, with utmost care and a profound tenderness that belies her predatory nature, she feeds her children. Moving from cell to cell with a tireless, methodical circuit, she gives each tiny larva a small, precisely measured portion of the pre-digested paste, ensuring each receives its share. It is a delicate, nurturing act, a testament to her unending devotion, repeated countless times throughout the day, every day. The rhythm of her life is now a continuous, demanding cycle of hunting and feeding, a relentless pursuit of nourishment. Her flight path to and from the nest becomes a familiar trajectory, etched into the very air she traverses. Her work, though demanding and physically exhausting, is a continuous, gentle flow of care, a testament to the selfless, instinct-driven drive of motherhood, a silent, powerful song of provision. The larvae grow rapidly, visibly changing each day, swelling within their chambers, their small white bodies getting bigger and bigger, gradually filling the cells that were so painstakingly built for them. And the queen works on, uncomplaining, untiring, driven by the profound instinct to nurture and perpetuate life. Her work is a silent testament to the immense power of a mother's love, a quiet, continuous effort, a gentle song of nourishment sung through tireless action. The sun shines down, warm and generous, fueling the entire cycle of life within the colony. The air is still and heavy with the pervasive, vibrating hum of summer, the chirping of cicadas, providing a natural, endless soundtrack, and the nursery, now teeming with tiny, growing lives, is a place of quiet, constant growth, a vibrant, living cradle nestled securely in the heart of the natural world, a testament to life's enduring resilience. Chapter 7: Metamorphosis and Emergence. The larvae, having consumed countless portions of their mother's meticulously prepared, protein-rich nourishment, grow and grow, reaching their final plump size within the confines of their hexagonal chambers. Their soft, white bodies, once tiny and fragile, now completely fill the snug interiors of their individual cells, signifying the triumphant completion of their larval stage. Their growth is a testament to the queen's tireless efforts, and now, A new, profound phase of their existence begins, one that is truly their own, a solitary internal journey into a complete physical transformation. Their next instinctive work is to spin from their tiny bodies, guided by an ancient internal blueprint, an unseen instruction. They begin to extrude fine, glistening silken threads. With incredible precision and a patient, continuous motion, a rhythmic weaving dance within their confined space, they meticulously spin and construct a delicate yet surprisingly strong silken cocoon around themselves. It forms a thin white blanket of silk, a soft, opaque shroud that will envelop them completely, separating them from the world they have known, a temporary hermitage. Once the cocoon is largely formed around their bodies, a complete and secure enclosure, they then perform another crucial final act. They meticulously seal the top opening of their hexagonal cell. With a final flourish of silk woven densely and intricately, they create a delicate yet securely fastened lid. It is a small, perfect, almost imperceptible door, skillfully closing them off from the outside world, transforming their open cradle into a private sealed chamber, a sacred sanctuary for their profound change. And inside this silken cocoon, hidden from view, shielded by the translucent silk and the sturdy paper walls, they begin their miraculous transformation. This profound process is called metamorphosis, a word that, even in its grandeur, barely captures the monumental scale of the change occurring within each tiny still form. It is a deep and mysterious process, one of nature's most astonishing acts of rebirth, a silent alchemy that completely reconfigures an entire organism from its basic structure to its final winged form. Within the protective, dimly lit confines of the silken chamber, the larva undergoes a complete and fundamental restructuring. Its soft, grub-like form, optimized for feeding and growth, begins to dissolve and reform, its tissues and organs rearranging themselves into the intricate, complex architecture of an adult wasp. The larva becomes a pupa, a transitional stage that bridges the profound gap between the two distinct forms, a chrysalis of potential. It enters a state of deep rest, a period of quiet stillness that utterly belies the intense, frenetic biological activity occurring within its developing body. It waits, utterly motionless, suspended between its past as a voracious earthbound larva and its future as a winged airborne adult, undergoing a profound internal restructuring of its very being. This is a time of quiet anticipation, a period of profound rest, a sacred pause before the grand, dramatic unveiling. The world outside the cocoon continues its bustling existence, the queens hunting and building, the hum of insects, the rustle of leaves, but within each cocoon, time seems to slow, dedicated entirely to this internal process of becoming, a silent, powerful reshaping. Throughout this critical period of internal transformation, the queen, her life a continuous tapestry of care and unwavering vigilance, continues her unending work. Her instinct compels her onward. She guards the nest with an unwavering vigilance, a silent sentinel hovering nearby, her senses exquisitely attuned to any disturbance, the slightest tremor or change in the air pressure that might signal a threat. Her antennae remain alert, constantly sweeping, her body poised for defense against any perceived danger, a probing ant seeking an entry point, a curious bird attempting to pry at the paper, a sudden shift in the wind that might signal a larger, unseen predator. Even as her first offspring lie dormant, undergoing their profound hidden change, she maintains her tireless architectural endeavors, adding new cells to the nursery, expanding the nest, new cells for new eggs, for new cycles of life, ensuring the continuous, relentless expansion of the colony, its future growth. The colony, though still in its nascent stages, is steadily growing, expanding its paper footprint with each new cell, a testament to her unrelenting dedication and the power of perpetuation. The air outside the nest remains warm, often heavy with the heat of the day, but a soft, gentle breeze occasionally rustles through the leaves of the surrounding vegetation, creating a whispered song of the enduring summer. The sun moves slowly across the sky, casting ever-changing patterns of light and shadow over the hanging nest, a cosmic dance, and inside the hexagonal cocoons, in a profound and silent darkness, a quiet, wonderful change is happening, a quiet secret, a deep and peaceful process of becoming, preparing for a new winged life that will soon join the vital work of the colony. It is the ultimate promise of nature, unfolding in hidden silence, a testament to life's persistent, miraculous renewal. Chapter 8. The Colony Awakens. The stillness within the cocoons is a kind of profound waiting, a quiet anticipation that stretches across what feels like an eternity to the developing pupae, but is merely days or weeks in the external world, marked only by the relentless shifting light and shadow on the outside of the nest. It is a period of intense, unseen biological activity, a silent, furious transformation, a veritable crucible of life. Within each silken chamber, the miracle of metamorphosis reaches its culmination, and then, at last, the change is complete. The internal alchemy, the complex biological restructuring, has reached its triumphant culmination. The new wasps, fully formed and ready for their world, are prepared to make their dramatic, triumphant debut. A new, powerful instinct, as strong and undeniable as the urge to build, stirs within them, urging them to break free from their silken confines and enter their new existence. With a final, determined effort, a culmination of all their newly developed strength, they begin to chew their way out of the silken cocoon. Their newly developed mandibles, previously soft and unformed, are now strong and sharp, perfect tools for this final, liberating task. With a rhythmic, grinding motion, a small, perfect circular hole is meticulously carved into the delicate, yet surprisingly resilient, silken lid of their hexagonal cell. It is a tiny portal to their new existence, a gateway to the wider world. And then, one by one, slowly, tentatively at first, but with increasing confidence, they emerge into the light, blinking into their new reality, their new form. These are the first children of the Queen, the triumphant first fruits of her tireless labor and unwavering dedication, the very first workers of her burgeoning colony. They appear pale and soft at first, their bodies delicate and slightly crumpled from the tight confines of the cocoon, their colors muted and understated. Their wings are still somewhat damp and unformed, adhering softly to their backs. They emerge with a tender vulnerability, having just undergone the most profound, energy-consuming transformation of their lives. Slowly, deliberately, patiently, they begin to dry and harden in the gentle warmth of the sun and the circulating air within the nest, their muscles gaining strength with each passing moment. Their exoskeletons, initially pliable and soft, firm up and strengthen, providing the rigid support necessary for flight and foraging, for the demands of their new life. Their colors deepen, slowly transforming from a soft, nascent hue into the familiar dark and shining jewel tones of an adult paper wasp, gleaming just like their mother's elegant form. Their wings unfurl, delicately, majestically, drying to become translucent membranes, finely veined and shimmering, now perfectly ready for sustained, purposeful flight. They emerge into the bustling world of the nest, blinking in the new light, exploring their new surroundings, with twitching antennae, sensing the vibrant activity around them, and instinctively, immediately, without any hesitation or need for instruction, they are ready to work. There is no period of learning, no awkward fumbling. They understand their new role, a purpose embedded deep within their being, an inherited knowledge that guides their every action with an inherent precision. They begin to help their mother, driven by the same unwavering instinct that guides her, a shared genetic imperative. Their movements, initially hesitant and tentative, quickly become confident and efficient, seamlessly integrating into the colony's rhythm. They begin to build, adding their own meticulously chewed pulp to the existing structure, extending the paper city with new perfectly formed cells. They begin to forage, taking to the air with newly hardened wings, seeking sustenance for the growing numbers within the nest, joining their mother in the vital hunt for caterpillars and other small insects. Chapter 9: The Enduring Rhythm. The sun sets once more, its fiery orb dipping gracefully below the western horizon, painting the sky with a final dramatic flourish of deep purples, fiery oranges, and fading blues. It is a slow, deliberate descent, drawing the last vestiges of golden daylight from the expansive sky, ushering in the profound stillness of twilight. The vibrant colors of dusk bleed across the vast canvas above, giving way to the deep hushed velvet of the night that returns with its cool, pervasive air and long, soft, merging shadows. Yet, unlike the slumbering world below, which prepares for a period of repose, within the bustling, growing paper city, the colony is still vibrantly at work. The diligent activity that began with the Queen's first solitary efforts now continues unabated, fueled by the collective energy and purpose of the new generation. The work does not stop with the coming of darkness. The building does not cease entirely, though it may slow, and the foraging does not end completely, although its intensity may lessen as the night deepens. It is a continuous, unbroken cycle of life, a perpetual motion of creation, of devoted caring, and of fierce protecting, driven by an instinct older than memory, a biological imperative that knows no true rest, only varying levels of activity. The humming of the colony, a quiet individual buzz now amplified and harmonized by dozens of tiny beating wings, is a gentle, pervasive sound now, a collective murmur of ceaseless effort and shared purpose that resonates faintly, yet unmistakably, in the night air. It is a sound of profound peace, of deep dedication, of a shared mission being meticulously carried out under the watchful, silent gaze of the distant stars. Each worker contributes their part, tirelessly and without complaint, whether it is chewing wood pulp and bringing it back to the nest, adding to the ever-expanding structure, tending meticulously to the developing brood within the cells, or standing guard near the nest entrance, their antennae twitching, vigilant for any nocturnal threat. The Queen, the first architect, the founding mother, her initial monumental task now eased and significantly accelerated by the eager assistance of her offspring, still works tirelessly. Her internal clock, a profound biological mechanism, continues to drive her to ensure the continuous flow of life into the colony. She continues to lay more eggs, her slender abdomen depositing each pearly speck into a newly prepared cell, ensuring the perpetual succession of her lineage. She initiates the construction of new cells, meticulously marking out the next hexagonal chambers for future generations, her touch still imbued with that ancient, unerring wisdom and perfect precision. Her work is her life, her very essence intertwined with the growth and survival of her lineage, the expansion and perpetuation of her species. And the new workers, her diligent, newly emerged children, work alongside her, their movements synchronized, a testament to the innate harmony and efficiency of the colonial structure. They are a family of builders, each contributing their unique small effort to the grand unfolding design of the nest. They are a family of protectors, fiercely defending their shared home against any nocturnal threat, a unified front. The nest hangs steadfast from its slender pedestal, a marvel of paper architecture, both surprisingly resilient against the elements and exquisitely delicate in its construction, a perfect home suspended with serene dignity in the still night air. It is more than just a dwelling, it is a living monument to the quiet, undeniable power of instinct, to the deep, unspoken wisdom that guides life in the natural world, a profound, inherited knowledge passed down through countless generations. It is a testament to the gentle, continuous rhythm of existence itself, unfolding ceaselessly, day and night, without beginning or end. Conclusion. As the night deepens further, descending from the pale twilight into the profound, inky blackness, a comprehensive and profound calm settles over the entire world. A pervasive silence, so utterly complete it seems to absorb every conceivable sound, every lingering echo of the day's activity. The moon, a luminous, serene orb, now rides majestically high above in the vast, star-strewn heavens, casting its soft, unwavering, almost liquid gaze upon the slumbering earth below, an omnipresent, benevolent watch. Its silvery light, ethereal and gentle, weaves intricate patterns of light and shadow through the dense, trembling leaves of the trees, creating delicate, dancing arabesques that gently sway and shift with the almost imperceptible breath of the breeze. A silent, hypnotic ballet. The air, exquisitely cool and invigoratingly fresh, carries only the faintest, most comforting and soothing scents, the deep, cloying, sweet perfume of unseen night-blooming flowers, unfurling their petals in the cool dark, the dry, whisper-soft aroma of ancient weathered wood, a scent of timeless endurance, and the subtle, uniquely earthy, almost papery scent of the constructed nest itself, a fragrance of home and industry. Within the intricate, meticulously paper-spun city, a delicate marvel of natural engineering, the once constant, industrious hum of activity that vibrated through the daylight hours, begins its slow, gradual softening, gradually fading into a deep, pervasive quietude. The tireless mandibles, those tiny, perfectly formed tools of creation, which chewed and sculpted with such unwavering purpose throughout the sunlit hours, now finally rest, released from their arduous, continuous labor. The delicate, agile legs, which grip tenaciously and spread the wet pulp with such exquisite precision, are now utterly still, their movements ceased, their tiny muscles relaxed after their long, demanding work. The myriad translucent wings which beat with such vibrant, ceaseless energy, creating that characteristic hum of industry, are now folded quietly and neatly against the slumbering bodies of the wasps, a posture of absolute repose and peaceful surrender to the night. The day's monumental, collective work is comprehensively done, accomplished with unwavering dedication, for now awaiting the dawn. A profound and quiet contentment settles over the entire colony, a collective sigh of deep, weary accomplishment that resonates through the delicate paper walls. The powerful shared purpose that drove each individual wasp through the relentless demands of the day, uniting their efforts in a singular focused drive, now gently gives way to a shared, pervasive peace that blankets the entire community. The queen, the first architect, the indomitable, unwavering mother whose vision initiated this intricate structure, settles deeply within her own private chamber, her sensitive antennae finally still, no longer twitching with vigilance, her entire body profoundly at rest, finding respite after her immense and continuous efforts. Her children, the new workers, still fresh from their own transformations, follow her silent lead, their tiny forms tucked securely and comfortably into the familiar, protective contours of their shared paper home, finding warmth and safety in proximity. The faint, almost imperceptible vibrations that still ripple through the nest are now less about the purposeful motions of construction and more about the gentle, synchronized, collective breathing of many small, contented lives, nestled together in a profound communal slumber. The night stretches out, a vast, soft, enveloping blanket, drawing itself completely around the nest and all its precious, vulnerable inhabitants in a secure, tender embrace. The stars, countless and impossibly distant, twinkle with a sleepy, muted glow, appearing as benevolent, silent guardians of the quiet hours, watching over the world below. The gentle breeze, now a mere ethereal whisper, barely stirring the air, rustles through the surrounding leaves of the trees like a timeless lullaby, a soft, murmuring song that subtly guides all living things into a deeper, more restorative slumber. There is truly nothing left to do, no task unfinished, nothing left to worry about, no looming threat to ponder, only the profound, encompassing peace of absolute rest. The little paper city, intricately crafted and suspended securely from its slender pedestal, rocks ever so slightly, imperceptibly, with the world's quiet breath, a perfect safe cradle in the vast stillness of the world. Each tiny life within its delicate walls, from the newly laid eggs to the pupae dreaming their deepest, most secret dreams of becoming, drifts peacefully into quiet, undisturbed slumber, perfectly protected and profoundly at peace, until the sun, in its own gentle, immutable rhythm, calls them forth once more, awakening them to a new day of purpose and creation. For now, only the soft, deep, pervasive hum of nature's quiet repose remains, a universal invitation to simply be, to release all tension, to truly rest, to deeply, profoundly sleep.